In this video, we are walking from the city walls past the Alcazar de Sevilla, around the Catedral de Sevilla, and then along the Avenida de la Constitución to the Fuente de Hispales de Puerta de Jerez and back. While we walk, let's talk about some of the pros and cons of Seville in the summer, and specifically in August. Let's start with the pros. Number one, August is typically the low season in Seville. There are more discounts on souvenirs, on food, on tours, and really everything in town. You won't have to fight for a table in restaurants, and you won't have to wait in a lot of long lines. It's rare to see long lines, and they typically move pretty quickly in August. And number two, the food here is amazing. Tapas, paellas, churros, empanadas are really easy to find. My favorite foods so far are the shrimp tortillitas. They're like thin fried shrimp cakes. These have a really wonderful crunchy, shrimpy taste. They're really, really good. I highly recommend those when you're at a tapas bar. Most of the places are going to have it. Jamón ibérico on anything. So that's all of Spain. They're crazy about their ham. It's before I ever came to Spain, I always thought, these people are weird, that they have ham-flavored chips and sodas and everything else. But until you've actually had the jamón ibérico, you can't really understand it. But once you've had some of it, some of the good stuff, then you're like, okay, I can see why they're so crazy about it. We especially liked it as a breakfast meal, and specifically, we had it at different restaurants, but the one we really like is called Love Horno Artesano. They put it on toasted bread with avocado and olive oil.
Hi.
What do you think about the food? Really good? Yeah, you love Seville?
This is yours. And what is yours?
Where's yours? And what did you get? What's inside of it? Yummy.
You see it right here?
Oh, yeah. That looks so yummy. And all of these places I mentioned, I'm going to show it on a map, and I'm going to have a link to it in maps just to make it easier. Another thing that we really liked were the churros at Dona Encarna. It's right in front of Losetas, which is a really cool modern attraction in Sevilla. These are really fresh churros, like right fried immediately, and they're not sweet at all. And the locals and also tourists, you'll walk by and you'll see everybody at the restaurant in the morning for breakfast. They'll have these churros on their table, and most people just kind of nibble on them while they're drinking their coffee, and it's a great way to enjoy your breakfast in Seville. You can also get avocado toast type stuff with eggs and bacon and all of that there too. It's really good. Another thing we really liked, obviously, is paella, right? You come to Spain, you come for paella, is well known. We had it a bunch of different places. It's all really good. Find a place that kind of works for you, that has the right atmosphere and isn't extremely expensive. We did go to one place and we were surprised at the price of the paella. It was very expensive, but we're in a more of a touristy area, and so those places obviously are going to cost more. Number three, Seville is extremely walkable. From the old city center where we are right now, It's not hard to walk to any of the main attractions of Seville, and there are many, many attractions here. It's crazy. There's so many things to do. We're staying for a month. We've been here for 2 weeks. We've seen not even half. Many of the main streets, also when you're walking, a part of the walkability part, it's flat, first of all. For the most part, it's absolutely flat. The other thing is most of the streets have really good shading. They actually have these shades that go across the buildings so that the street stays pretty shaded. In some places, when you're in the center and when you're walking through, a lot of the avenues are also pretty narrow. So in those instances, they don't even need the shading on top because the sun is rarely going to reach all the way to the ground where you are. Number 4, Seville is filled with beautiful buildings, amazing architecture, both the historic buildings and the modern ones. For the historic ones, you really get a feel for what it must have been like in the past. But also at the same time, you don't have to walk too far then to see some really cool modern artistic renditions like Las Setas that I mentioned. And also they have this Torre de Sevilla, this huge tower that's new, and it's right next to a really cool mall that's kind of built into the ground. It's really neat. And on the other side of the mall, there's a outdoor event type place that looks really cool. All right, so those are some of the pros. There's so much to Seville. I mean, we've really just barely cracked it over 2 weeks. So now with some of the cons, and it's really hard to call this a con. It's more of like a pro-con. Right now, it's the 23rd of August. It's the absolute hottest time of the year in the warmest city in Europe, with temperatures that are often over 100 degrees Fahrenheit, 41, 42, 43 degrees Celsius. From about 3 p.m. until 8 p.m., most people head indoors. And because this is when it's really just too hot to do much outside on those days. And that's where you get that notion of, or that tradition of siestas. It's definitely because of that. You think in the past, people didn't have AC. What could you actually do when it's 42 degrees Celsius outside? You can't really do a lot. So it's better to do things early in the morning or late at night. So in the mornings, it's great. You have breezes that come through. There's a lot of the city is shaded, so you don't have to worry about the sun on you. It feels kind of cool even at 9, 10, 11 a.m. even. It's perfectly fine for walking and seeing all the different attractions here in Seville. And then, again, at night, then it cools off enough and people go out to dinner, they have drinks, they go dancing, they're out till 2, 3, 4 a.m. in the morning. So then maybe they sleep for 4 hours or so, and then they start again and they have that siesta in the middle of the day, And they end up doing as much as you would do anywhere else. But you can see why. You can see why the siesta is a part of the traditions here, in Seville especially. In other parts of Spain, maybe not so much, but here in Seville, it really does make sense. So number 2, another con, or what could be a con if you're caught by it, is that the prices for food and drinks really vary. And the closer you are to an attraction, usually, or the closer you are to one of the major hotels, the more expensive everything is going to be. And it could be drastically more expensive, and the quality isn't that much better, right? It doesn't make up for that jump in prices. And you could walk maybe a couple blocks, 2 or 3 blocks away, and you can find a place that's really cool where, with outdoor seating, with live music, and incredible food and drinks and everything, and you could save a lot of money. And I really, really recommend, if you come to Seville, that you plan your meals out. You don't wait until you're hungry, like you go out to an attraction at a time when you're going to would normally eat, right? Like at your lunchtime or breakfast or whatever, and then be stuck in a place and not really know what the prices are in that area, because you could really get burned easily. And we have once. And from that, we've kind of learned, definitely need to plan it in advance and have maybe a backup plan too in August. A lot of places close. So this is number 3. Con number 3 is that in August, because it is the traditional time for vacations in Europe, overall in Europe. So Italy, Spain, France, Southern Europe, most people take their vacations in August. So the prices for the accommodations jump in August. Seville, not as much. But a lot of people leave, like the locals leave. So a lot of the more popular restaurants and bars and shops will close for 1-2 weeks in August. There's a place really close to here that it's a churros bar. And we walked by it a lot of times. And Anthony's like, I want to go there, I want to go there. And there was always a long line. Well, we were like, okay, what we're going to do on Monday, we're going to wake up super early in the morning, and we're going to get over there like at 7:30 or 8 and see if we can get towards the front of the line, not wait so long. So we got there, and it was all shut down, and it's like we're on vacation until September 1st. So to keep that in mind, that a lot of the shops will close down, not just when it's hot outside in the middle of the day, but they'll also close down for part of August for their vacations. A lot of locals in Seville will leave the city and go to other parts of the country during this time period because of the heat. But that's really all. I mean, is that a con? It's not that bad, but it's part of your planning, right? If you're going to come in the last 2 weeks of August, just expect that not as many places are open. We still find plenty of places, lots of tapa bars, lots of just everything here. And on tapas, also, one thing to keep in mind is don't go strictly to the restaurants for tapas. Most of the bars, if not 100% of the bars, have tapas, and they're just as good as at the restaurants, and they're less expensive. So I really recommend that. And also, the tapas, what I would recommend is you go to a place, let's say you're a couple, get a couple tapas and your drinks. Don't order, because they say I'll get 2 or 3 per person. Just get 1 per person, pick a couple things you might like, share, have a drink, soda, whatever it is, and then to see if how much more you need, because we found the portions to be bigger than we expected. And there's times that we'll go out for dinner and just have 1 tapa each and we'll be full. So keep that in mind. And with that, I ask that you please, if you haven't already, click the subscribe button and the like, and add a comment. Would love to hear any feedback that you have on Seville, any questions you might have. We're staying for a month, so we still have a couple more weeks here. So if you do have any questions or any places you would like to see, we'd be happy to go film. We'll be happy to talk about it. We'll ask any questions that you have about Seville and Spain in general. We've visited now a few times for multiple months, and so we know a little bit. So we'll be happy to answer anything that we can. All right, and with that, take care. Bye.